I quit covering my husband's shifts at his family's shop. So my husband's family owns this little hardware store, been in the family like 40 years, and when we got married, everyone just sort of assumed I'd be part of it. Not paid part of it, just part of it. His parents run the register, his brother does the ordering, and my husband Dave is supposed to open 3 mornings a week. Except Dave hates mornings, always has. So somewhere in the first year of us being married, it became my job to go open the store at 7 a.m. when he couldn't, which turned into most weeks. I'd unlock, count the drawer, deal with the contractors who show up before the sun. Also, Dave could sleep in and roll through around 10 looking fresh. I run my own thing from home, so I've got flexibility, and I guess that's how it started. You're up anyway, he'd say. It's just a couple hours. A couple hours, 3 or 4 mornings a week for years. His parents never paid me a dime. When I brought it up once, my mother-in-law laughed and said, "Honey, it all comes back to you. It's family money. It does not all come back to me. I've seen the family money. It buys Dave's parents a cabin." The thing that finally did it was this past October. I'd been sick, actual flu, running a fever, and Dave still tapped me at 6 a.m. and said, "I've got a thing." I asked what thing. He said he wanted to go to the gym before it got busy. So I dragged myself out of bed with a 101 fever to open a store I don't get paid for, so my husband could do bench press. And I stood there in that cold shop at 7 in the morning, handing a plumber his order, and I thought, I am done. Just like that, done. I didn't announce it, I just stopped. The next morning, it was Dave's turn again, and I stayed in bed. He shook my shoulder and said, "Babe, the store." I said, "It's your shift." He said, "Yeah, but you always open." I said, "Not anymore." He stood there like I'd spoken another language. Then he said, "So the store just doesn't open?" And I said, "Guess that's up to whoever's shift it is." He was late that day. His dad had to come in on his day off. I heard about it all night. Do you know how embarrassing that was? My dad's 68. I said, "Weird. I've done that shift with the flu and nobody thought I was too old for it." Next week, same thing. It's his morning. I don't move. He tries the guilt. Family helps family. I said, "Great. I'm not family payroll though, so I'm helping myself sleep." Then the calls started. "My mother-in-law, I hear you're refusing to help the store." I said I wasn't refusing to help the store. I was refusing to work Dave's shifts for free while he sleeps. There was this long pause and she goes, "But you're so good at the mornings." I said, "I know. That's why it was easy to keep dumping it on me." She told me I was making things difficult for the whole family. I said the family managed fine for 40 years before me and could manage the mornings. Dave was actually scheduled to work. She hung up on me. Dave tried a new angle after that. He came home and sat on the edge of the bed all soft and said, "You do 2 mornings, I do 2. Like he was offering me a gift. I said, "Why would I do 2 unpaid mornings when I can do 0? He didn't have an answer for that. He just said, "Because you love me?" I said, "I love you at 8 a.m. from under the blanket." His brother texted me a paragraph about how I was leaving them short-staffed. I texted back that they had a whole family and could hire someone with the family money. He read it and never replied. Here's the part that got me though. 2 weeks in, Dave's mom offered to pay him extra to open more mornings. To him, her son. The money was there the whole time. It was just never going to come to me as long as I do it for a smile and a "you're up anyway." So I told Dave that's fine. He can take the paid mornings, and if he ever wants me to cover one, the rate's the same as whatever they're paying him. He got real quiet and said, "You'd charge me?" I said, "You'd let your mom charge the store and pay you. I'm just cutting out the middleman." He said that felt cold. I said sleeping in with a fever felt colder. Dave set his alarm for 6 a.m. every day this week. First time in our whole marriage I've watched him get up before me.